My rude relatives mocked my grandma at her birthday, so I let them pay the bill I'd set at 20 times the price. My name's Rick, and my grandma Eleanor practically raised me. When I was a kid and my parents were too busy fighting or working, she was there, teaching me to read, making me breakfast, showing up to every school play. She's 82 now, still baking pies for neighbors even when her knees ache. So when her birthday came around, I wanted to give her something special. I run a small marketing firm, nothing crazy, but successful enough that I could afford to book out her favorite Italian restaurant, the same place we used to go when I was little, where she'd sneak extra lasagna into a napkin. I sent invites to everyone 2 weeks early. My Uncle Martin, his wife Sharon, their kids, the whole family. Everyone confirmed. I should have known better. The night of the dinner, Grandma arrived 20 minutes early wearing a powder blue sweater and pearls. She held my arm as we walked in and whispered, "You didn't have to do all this, honey." But I wanted to. For once, I wanted her to feel like she mattered. We sat down and waited. The table was set for 12. At 6, it was just us. By 6:30, Grandma smiled weakly and said, "They must be stuck in traffic." 2 hours late, the doors finally swung open. Uncle Martin strutted in first loud as ever, followed by Sharon and their 2 kids, Mason and Kylie. All 4 were glued to their phones. "We're here! Hope you didn't start without us," Martin announced like he was doing us a favor. Grandma stood up, eyes bright. "Oh, I'm just so glad you made it." I bit my tongue. We'd been waiting 2 hours. Martin slid into the chair at the head of the table, the one I'd saved for Grandma, and complained about parking. Sharon waved it off. "Rick, you should have picked somewhere with valet." "It has valet," I said flatly. "Oh, well, nobody told us." Then Kylie groaned. "What's the Wi-Fi here? I'm dying without signal." Grandma tried to joke. "We used to survive just fine without the internet, dear." Kylie snorted. "Yeah, back when dinosaurs roamed." Grandma blinked, forcing a smile. "Well, I suppose that makes me one of them." Sharon laughed. "Oh, Mom, don't be dramatic. You're just old-fashioned." I clenched my jaw, telling myself to stay calm. Keep it peaceful for Grandma. We ordered, or rather, I ordered. Martin waved his hand. "Get us the good wine, Rick. You're paying, right?" Technically, yes, but the way he said it felt like charity. Throughout the meal, every time Grandma tried to share a memory, someone interrupted. Martin bragged about crypto. Sharon complained about her car. Mason scrolled TikTok. Then it got worse. Grandma mentioned Grandpa's old war coins. Martin casually said, "Yeah, I found those last week. Might sell them. No sense keeping junk around." Grandma's hand froze midair. "Those were his keepsakes," she whispered. Sharon shrugged. "Memories don't pay bills." That was almost my breaking point. But Grandma gave me that look, the one that said, "Don't cause trouble." By dessert, I wasn't even tasting the food. I just watched Grandma's face, the forced smiles, the dabbing at her eyes with her napkin. Then Grandma stood with her wine glass. "I just wanted to thank you all for coming. Family is everything." Martin chuckled. "Well, some of us showed up on time." Sharon nodded. "Yeah, Rick should have picked somewhere better." Kylie whispered something to Mason. They both laughed. Grandma sat down slowly, staring at her napkin. That's when something inside me snapped. Not loud, quiet, and cold. See, what they didn't know, what nobody at that table knew, was that I didn't just book the restaurant. 6 months ago, my company acquired it as part of our hospitality expansion. I owned the place, and in that moment, watching them mock the woman who raised me, I made a decision. I nodded subtly to Kevin, my manager. He understood immediately. When the bill came, Martin waved it off. "Just give it to Rick. He's the big shot here." I smiled. "Oh, don't worry. It's taken care of." But what arrived wasn't a normal bill. Kevin placed down a corporate invoice stamped with my company's logo, listing everything they'd ordered at the private event rate, 20 times the menu price. Martin's eyes scanned the page. His face went from smug to pale in seconds. $12,470? This is insane. You can't do this. I leaned back calmly. "Actually, I can. You're not family guests tonight. You're corporate attendees at a private function. Everything you consumed falls under premium event pricing." Sharon's voice cracked. "Rick, this is a joke, right?" "No joke, just business." Martin stood, shaking. "You set us up." "No," I said quietly. "You embarrassed Grandma for 2 hours straight. I just made sure you paid for it." Grandma sat silently, tears in her eyes, not from sadness but relief. Martin slammed his hands on the table. "You'll regret this." "Maybe," I said, "but not as much as you will." He stormed out.